Coventry City are on fire right now. Despite losing two of their best players earlier last summer, they have bounced back and they are once again in the battle for promotion. And not to mention the incredible FA Cup run they're having, they're in the semi-finals playing against Manchester United, for God's sake. And for ages now, you guys have been flooding the comments section asking me to do Coventry City. Well, guess what, guys? It's finally happening. As today, I have just been revealed as Coventry City's brand new manager. By the end of this video, I'm going to make them the world's best club. But this time, we're getting a little bit of help from 5 years ago. Because today, ladies and gents, I'm only allowed to sign FIFA 19 Wonderkids whether they lived up to their expectations or whether they massively flopped. So ladies and gents, here is the starting 11 we've loaded into a Coventry City, and whilst there's a couple of players out of position, this team is actually stacked. They've got players like Sakamoto, they've got Ben Sheaf, Callum O'Hare, and Milan Van Ewijk, who, if I'm not mistaken, is actually one of the best right backs, if not the best right back in the Championship right now. And for a Championship team, they've got a fairly young squad. Only 5 players out of the 33 in the entire squad are 30 years old or above. And what makes it even better, they haven't even got a stupid contract situation to sort out, and we all know how much I love it when this happens. And their budget's also ridiculous too, 11 million in total for season 1, and with us only being able to sign FIFA 19 Wonderkids, that is definitely going to come in handy. But one rule I should mention, if I brought Kylian Mbappe, for example, I can't change his age or his overall to what it was in FIFA 19. If I buy him like this is exactly how he's got to be when he joins the squad. Now, I've already praised how good this team actually is, but before we try to improve it financially, we've got to sort it out tactics-wise. So with us only being able to use FIFA 19 Wonderkid, we're using the gegenpressing tactical vision. They'll have the legs for this, and we're definitely going to use that to our advantage. As for the formation, we are sticking with the 4-2-3-1 wide. Majority of the team are already playing in their natural position, so this kind of just makes sense. And after meddling with the team, this is the starting 11 I'm very comfortable going into season 1 with before we bring in any signings, that is. And whilst we do have a very stellar budget of 11 million to spend, we don't know how expensive some of these FIFA 19 Wonderkids are going to turn out to be. So with that being said, I'm not taking any chances. I'm putting all these players on the transfer list just to make sure we can generate enough money to get at least 2 signings in this year. I'm not saying we're going to get this 11 million to 50 million, but we can definitely try and get it to at least 20 million. But I've got to be honest with you lot, guys, Kai Andrews may end up on the transfer list as well. He's not worth much, but he is doing myself and the team's head-ins lately, talking about how bored he gets when he's at home and when he's travelling to away games on the coach. He doesn't like watching movies, he doesn't like playing on an Xbox or a PlayStation, he only likes PC games. Luckily, I may have a solution for him, because today's video is brought to you by Acer and AMD, and I want to talk to you about their brand new gaming laptop, the Nitro 5. What a name that is though, by the way, the Nitro 5. With a name like that, it's gotta be good. Well, ladies and gents, it is, because this powerful laptop is ready for all your favourite games thanks to an AMD Ryzen 7 6800H processor and an incredible NVIDIA RTX 3050 graphics card. And having a faster processor provides a way better performance when you're gaming, when you're video editing, or when you're watching Tottenham Hotspur bottle a game. It also has a newly redone chassis with a couple of tricks up its sleeve in the form of dual fan cooling, dual intakes, and a quad exhaust port design. Not to mention, it's got a 144Hz refresh rate and a 3 millisecond response time, giving you an incredible gaming experience. And we can't forget about the QHD screen with AMD FreeSync Premium, keeping those frames tight and in sync. Ladies and gents, the Nitro 5 gaming laptop is absolutely elite, and I cannot recommend it to you guys enough. And it's available right now, so head on over to Acer to get yours today. I'd also like to thank Acer and AMD for sponsoring today's video. Now, speaking of today's video, let's get back to it. Now guys, whilst I was telling you about the Nitro 5, I was also selling all the players I put on the transfer list, and we've got 22 million now in our budget. That's way more than I thought we were going to get, but I'm definitely not complaining about it. Now, when you look at the squad, ladies and gents, for the most part, the starting 11 is solid all round, but there are 2 positions that we do need to focus on. I mean, we definitely need a new keeper. Brad Collins is our best one. He's 26 granted, but he's 69 overall. If we want to do well this year with Coventry City, we've got to get someone better in between the sticks. And whilst Palmer isn't technically playing out of position because he can play on the wing, I would like to bring in an out-and-out winger to go on the left-hand side of the pitch. And now that our budget's literally double, we can now bring in again, a left winger and a goalkeeper. But remember, they have to be FIFA 19 Wonderkids. And I feel like I've landed on the two perfect first transfers. The first transfer being Andre Lunin in FIFA 19. He was 76 overall, had 88 potential, but unfortunately in FC 24, he hasn't quite reached that. He is indeed 77 rated. I mean, he is only 24 years old, and with him joining us as a championship team, we can definitely try to get the best out of him. And the best part is his contract's running out, meaning we'll get a much cheaper deal. And following Andre Lunin is actually Timothy Weah in FIFA 19. He was 69 overall, he had 85 potential, and he was also a striker, ladies and gents. But in FC 24, he's actually playing on the wing now for Juve. He's only 23, 74 rated, and his status says he's got something special, so he's hoping we can actually get the best out of him. And just as quickly as our transfer window began, it is officially over, as we've just spent 15.6 million on both of these FIFA 19 Wonderkids. But as soon as Weah is signed for the team, I've been training him to become a left winger. He's all done and dusted now, and he's going to turn into a 75 rated player, so we're already seeing growth from him. And now that that's all done and dusted, this is how the team lines up for Season 1, and honestly, I can definitely see us getting promoted this year. I mean, let's be honest, guys, Coventry City already had a very solid team, and we've added Timothy Weah and Andre Lunin into it. I really don't see what stops us from getting promotion. Now, ladies and gents, if these stats are anything to go by, I reckon we've had a very good year. Look at Callum O'Hare, for God's sake. As a central attacking midfielder, we got 23 goals and 9 assists. What a player. And it's not just the stats, guys. Look at the improvement in these players. I'm telling you now, ladies and gents, we've definitely got the playoffs. And that's exactly what we've got. We are alongside Preston North End, Southampton, and Stoke City. The Potters, God, that's a little bit different from what's happening in real life with them, innit? But I have to admit, this is way more like the Potters. 5-1 on aggregate in the semi-finals. We're playing Preston North End in the playoff final. We go into this game, a player injured, a centre-back injured. Can we cope with... Oh my God, we smashed Preston North End 4-1. Yeah, we defo deserve promotion, ladies and gents. I mean, not to mention, we did actually finish third in the championship, and we were 5 points ahead of Preston North End. I feel like that is justice served. But we do have work to do in the FA Cup, as Leeds knocked us out in round 3 on penalties. And Bournemouth knocked us out in round 2 of the energy drink competition. That one I'm not too fussed about. Bournemouth are a Premier League side after all. But guys, whilst overall we've had a great season with Coventry and the team's massively improved, we've still got a lot of work to do to make sure we don't get our backside handed to us in the Prem. I mean, look at the Premier League table, for God's sake. Aston Villa this season finished second. There is no team we can take for granted in the Premier League next year. I think if we are to survive next season, we need to get a better centre-back partnership than the ones we've already got. They're decent right now, but they're not Premier League standard. But my question going into Season 2, how good is our budget going to be? I mean, under normal circumstances, we'd be able to work with it, but we are very restricted on who we're allowed to bring in. Remember, we can only sign FIFA 19 Wonderkids, so there's no telling how expensive or cheap centre-backs are going to be. But before we find out, ladies and gents, if you're enjoying this video so far, leave it a big old thumbs up and smash that subscribe button. Well, ladies and gents, we've arrived in our second year in charge of Coventry, and we've got 57 million to spend. That is actually way better than I thought. And with us now being officially in the Premier League with Coventry City, there's no time like the present to bring in those two centre-backs from FIFA 19. And the first centre-back I'm going for is actually Juan Foyth. He used to play for Tottenham in FIFA 19. He was 74 overall, 85 potential. I'd actually argue right now he looks pretty decent too, because he's actually playing for Villarreal as a right back. He's 26, 81 overall, but we all know as soon as we convert into a centre-back, that overall shoots right up. And there's our first transfer window done. 28.5 million. It took us to get Juan Foyth over to Coventry City. Now we just need the second centre-back. And that centre-back is going to be Evan Ndicka. He was only 19 5 years ago, guys. He's 76 rated, 86 potential, and it's safe to say he hasn't quite lived up to that just yet. Because he's 24 years old now, he's got 80 overall. He is playing for Roma, so he's definitely stepped his game up a little bit, but he's not quite 86 rated, but he is hoping that we can get him to that. But here lies the issue. His market value is 22 million, and we've got 25 million, so I feel like if we are to bring him over to Coventry, we're going to have to include a player in this deal. So I'm going to offer 17.5 million alongside signed our centre-back, Joel. I'm not too sure if they're actually going to go for this, but he's hoping they actually do. They just want a little bit more money, 18.3. Do you know what, guys? I'm not going to be stingy with this. I'm just going to accept it. And there he is, guys, in the Coventry City kit. That's our second transfer complete, and that's our transfer window done now. But we do have one more thing to do, converting Juan Foyth from a fullback to a centre-back. As we all know, he goes up to 83 overall, guys. What an absolute bargain we've just got for Juan Foyth. And just look at that, ladies and gents. Obviously, there's still weaknesses in the team like De Silva, like Sakamoto, but for the most part, we've got a very, very solid team for a newly promoted side joining the Premier League. There is, however, that chance that we do absolutely flop, but I'm just hoping that Juan Foyth and Evan Ndicka stop that from happening. Well, I'm happy to say, guys, they've helped us to a mid-table finish in the Premier League. Granted, we are like 19 points outside the top 6, but you know what? We'll take it one step at a time. As for the FA Cup, we made it to round 5 this time, just getting knocked out by West Ham. And we made the semis of the energy drink competition to get slaughtered by Manchester United. Honestly, though, the fact we made the semi-finals shows you how good we are getting. And guys, I wasn't joking either. Look at some of these players, and I'm not even talking about the Wonderkids either. Look at Van Ewijk, Ben Chief, Eccles, and Callum O'Hare, for God's sake. And honestly, the stats are pretty decent too. 18 for Sim, 17 and 5 for Timothy Weah, 11 for Fabio Tavares, 6 and 5 for Sakamoto, and 5 and 2 for Callum O'Hare. Going into our first season in the Prem, I wasn't expecting 11th in the league, I'll be real. Maybe a lower mid-table finish, but mid-table is actually really good. But I feel like going into season 3, a better right winger than Sakamoto and also a better left back than De Silva is definitely the route to go down. The rest of the team is actually really goddamn good. We don't need to mess with any of it at all apart from those positions. I'm just hoping that once again this budget can come in clutch because this year's was absolutely bang on. Next year's, however, I'm not too sure. But I'm happy to say, guys, the board have not let me down. 61 million is the total amount we've got to spend on a FIFA 19 Wonderkid who's a left back and a right winger. And we're going to start with the right winger role, and trust me, I'm going to take you back down memory lane with this one. Who remembers Malcolm, the Brazilian winger who played for Barcelona, who was only 21 at the time, but he was 82 rated, had 89 potential. EA really thought this guy was the next big thing, but unfortunately it didn't pan out that way. Because now he plays in Saudi Arabia. He's not even 30 years old yet. 81 overall for the longest time as well. He wasn't even in FIFA, but guys, I'm hoping that we can turn his career around by having him join us. As for the left back, I'm going for Kieran Tierney. As you can see, he was 76 rated back in FIFA 19 and only 20 years old and had an 86 potential prediction, but unfortunately, just like Malcolm, that hasn't really happened, has it? But don't get me wrong, he's a very solid centre-back. He's 28, 82 rated, plays in the La Liga League for Real Sociedad right now, but guys, if it's left up to me, that's not going to be like that for much longer. And just like that, guys, another transfer window has been wrapped up, as for 54 million on the dot, we have signed both Kieran Tierney and Malcolm to the team. But we are once again changing someone's position. Malcolm's going to become a right winger. He's going to go up to an 82 rated player. I was actually expecting to stay at 81 there. But now that that's taken care of, this is how we look going into season 3. And considering we've only been in charge of Coventry City for 3 years and the team looks this good already, I honestly think we've done a great job so far. The thing is though, are we going to do better than we did last year by finishing higher than 11th? Are we going to do the exact same, or are we going to drop down the table a little bit and go backwards? Well, we definitely ain't gone backwards, guys. We are second in the Premier League, granted 7 points behind the league winners Manchester City, but second in the Prem. That's ridiculous. Considering we've gone from 11th in the Premier League in our first season in it to gain Champions League football the next, guys, that is a hell of an achievement. We also made the quarters of the FA Cup, losing 3-1 to Leicester City. Honestly, I feel like we should have done way better there. But we did make round 4 of the Carabao Cup, losing 3-1 to Liverpool. That I don't necessarily mind all that much. But man, the signings we've made and the Coventry City OG players have put a right shift. And look at Lunan, for God's sake, 89 overall. Dynamic potential has hit this guy like a ton of bricks. And look at the stats as well. Malcolm is our top goal contributor, 37 goals, 6 assists. What a freaking signing he's turned out to be. Man, this is unreal, guys. This team is in the Champions League next year, and we all know that means the budget is going to get skyrocketed. Unfortunately, when that happens, though, I feel like Sims and O'Hare are definitely the next ones on the chopping block. I mean, I love these guys to pieces. They've been tremendous for us since Season 1, but if we are to take Coventry to the next level, this is what's got to happen. And it looks like we can go ahead with this plan because we've got 156 million in Season 4. Ladies and gents, the Coventry Board of Directors are backing me and then some. Now, there are a couple of insane options we've got for a striker like Kylian Mbappe. The only problem with this guy is his market value alone is higher than our actual budget. And it's the same story with Erling Haaland. I mean, he's actually more expensive than Kylian Mbappe. That's actually nuts when you think about it. And you've got to remember as well, this 156 million is going to go on 2 players, an attacking midfielder and a striker. But don't worry, I've already narrowed it down to the 2 players I want to bring into the team, and they are more than qualified for the job. So let's start front to back this time. Gabriel Jesus. He played for Manchester City at the time. He was 83 rated, had 90 potential. He's still a very good player, don't get me wrong, but he didn't quite live up to that potential given to him by EA. Instead, guys, he's 84 rated, almost 30 years old in this save, and of course, he doesn't actually play for Atletico, he plays for Arsenal. He's still a very good player, not quite 90 rated though, is he? But this attacking midfielder right now is living up to his potential in FIFA 19. 69 rated at 17 years old, 85 potential, and we all know how good Szoboszlai is in real life. I mean, this game certainly rates him 87 overall at 25 years old. He's very expensive too, but that's where that 150+ million budget comes in handy for us. And guys, it's a good job we did have a good budget this year, as we've just spent 131.5 million on Gabriel Jesus and Dominic Szoboszlai. But in all honesty, I'm not really fussed how much these guys cost us, because these pair of absolutely insane players are going to take Coventry City to that next level. And they're going to get a great chance to prove it, as we are in the UCL Coventry for the first time in Group H alongside Juve, Benfica and Feyenoord. But just look at the state of this team going into this season, man. Not only are the FIFA 19 Wonderkids coming really goddamn good for us, the OG Coventry City players are definitely pulling their weight too. And it shouldn't be surprising that we're off to a good start in the Prem. After 3 games, we are 7th in the league with a game in hand over the rest of the teams in the top 6. Honestly, I reckon this season's going to be our best one yet. But unfortunately, it's not going to be our best season in the Prem, as we've dropped to 4th in the league. But when you do take a closer look at the league table, from 2nd to 6th in the league, it's incredibly tight. Only 1 point separating ourselves from 3rd and 2nd. But I've got to slow down for a sec, guys. We've won our first piece of proper silverware with Coventry City beating Aston Villa in the FA Cup. But we just missed out in the Carabao Cup. Arsenal beat us 2-0 in the final, but we made the FA Cup final and the Carabao Cup final so far, so hopefully we can make the Champions League final as well. But that's not going to happen, because we've actually been grouped. We are heading to the Europa League after finishing 3rd. I'm sorry, how do we sign Gabriel Jesus and Dominic Szoboszlai and still not make it out of this group? But to make matters worse, we didn't even make it out of the preliminary round. Lille beat us 3-2 on aggregate. We crashed out of Europe entirely before it's even started. What makes it worse as well, the Bottle Jobs actually made it out of the prelim round. Oh my god, I'm praying to God they haven't won this competition. Thankfully, that isn't the case. They actually lost to the team that knocked us out, Lille, on penalties, once again bottling a trophy. But we can't make any excuses for this team, man. We've got to be doing better than we have done this year, especially in Europe. But when you look at the stats, ladies and gents, you'd assume we've actually gone on to win the Premier League, especially Szoboszlai and Malcolm's stats. They've had a cracking year. And in case you guys are wondering, I did send Sims out on loan for a year just to ensure that Jesus got the game time he needed to actually do well, but apparently that didn't even work for Gabriel Jesus. Now, I feel like next year, to do better in Europe, we've got to make some ruthless replacements, man. Ben Sheaf is going to be on the chopping block next year. We're going to have to bring in a better CDM than him. And to be honest, maybe a better fullback than Tierney and a centre-back than Ndicka won't go amiss either. I mean, when you look at those 3 positions in comparison to the rest of the starting 11, those are the only 3 positions that need improving. You never know, guys. Once we sort those positions out, we could go from 4th in the Prem to the very top of it, winning the entire damn thing. But this is all very budget dependent, remember. But guys, we're now into the new season with Coventry City, and look at Ndicka's development plan. It'll only take him 6 weeks to become an 84 rated centre-back, so maybe I was slightly harsh in thinking about replacing him. And it's the same story with Ben Sheaf. It'll take him only 13 weeks to become an 84 rated CDM, so I'm honestly thinking about not replacing him either. But Kieran Tierney, on the other hand, it'll take him 58 weeks to become become a better fullback. And when you compare his development plan to Ben Sheaf's and also Evan Ndicka's, it's a no-brainer really. I feel like we put all of our budget this year into a brand new left back. And despite last year's calamity in Europe, we've still got over 110 million to spend in our budget. Now, I'm not too sure if this is going to be enough to bring in the fullback I want, but you better believe I'm going to find out. Because I want to bring in Theo Hernandez. Back in FIFA 19, he was 20 years old, he was 77, rated out a potential of 85, but you all know as well as I do, he's more than surpassed that. I mean, look at him now, 29 years old, 88 overall, and the best part is, his maximum asking price is 102.6 million. We can definitely afford to bring him into this team. And just like that, ladies and gents, we brought in a FIFA 19 Wonderkid and one of the best fullbacks in the world for 90 million on the dot. And just look at the impact Theo Hernandez has had already. 3 games played in the Premier League, 3 wins, 9 points. What a goddamn start. But can he have this same impact in Europe, as we are once again in the UCL in Group E alongside Juve, Celtic and Djurgårdens IF? I'm really hoping that this is the case, man. Theo Hernandez is a world-class fullback, but he can't do it all on his own. This entire team needs to pull their socks up this year and actually play proper football. And guys, we came so freaking close. Man City, once again, are the Premier League champions by freaking goal difference. 8 goals was all that separated ourselves from lifting that title. I'm honestly so goddamn gutted. Man City, you're on a fine line, kid. You're on a fine line. Scratch that, you've crossed the line. You've beaten us to win the Community Shield. That's another trophy you've taken away from us. You're officially in Bayer Leverkusen territory now. But you know what? We have won the FA Cup, beating Fulham to do it. So that is back-to-back FA Cups. It isn't all doom and gloom, I suppose. Scratch that once again. Spurs have knocked us out in round 4 of the Carabao Cup. Honest to God, that's even worse than losing to Man City. But Man City won the Carabao Cup anyway. Honest to God, if we flopped in the UCL once again, I actually give up. But thankfully this time, we didn't get a group. We did finish second behind Juve, and we are for the first time of Coventry into the knockouts. And that's where we just about got past the RB Leipzig in the round of 16. And we've done the exact same to enter in the quarters. We could be playing against Monaco, AC Milan, or Real Madrid. Oh God, please be Monaco. Please be Monaco. I actually got my wish and we bottled it. We lost 2-1 to Monaco. Oh my God. It's a good job we didn't get to the final. We'd have been playing against Real Madrid and they'd have absolutely battered us. I'm sorry though, guys. Can someone help me out here? How the hell does this team not beat AS Monaco? Am I missing something here? Have they got Mbappe back all of a sudden? I mean, look at their stats. Jesus coming in clutch this year. So is Malcolm, Szoboszlai, Timothy Weah, not so much. I mean, these guys are really pouring a shift this year. What more do we have to do? Maybe next year we focus on our bench a bit more. Maybe next year we actually do replace Ben Sheaf in the starting 11. Honestly, at this point, who knows? We'll see what the budget's like next year and then we'll take it from there. But ladies and gents, the budget this year is brilliant. 188 million. We can definitely do some damage with this money. Now, for the longest time, guys, Ben Sheaf has been the next player that I was going to replace, but somehow he keeps surviving, and this season is actually no different. Because I'm going to replace Evan Ndicka with a better centre-back. Now, if you remember, last year, Man City beat us to the title on goal difference purely because their defence was better. So if we improve our defence, there's no reason why we can't win the title. After that, we will be working on our bench. We need a goalkeeper, we need a better midfielder, we don't need a striker because we can just bring Ali Sims back off his loan move. But with us having 188 million, you better believe that centre-back I'm bringing in is going to be one of the best in the world. And guys, I am true to my word. I'm going for Ruben Diaz because back in FIFA 19, he was 79 overall. He had 85 potential and he was only 21 years old. And we all know that that 85 potential has definitely been surpassed. Because in FC 24, he is 90 overall. He is currently playing for Man City in real life, but because we spent £82.5 million on him in this career mode save, he now plays for Coventry City. And we've still got 94 million to bring in a backup centre midfielder and a backup goalkeeper. Ladies and gents, we got more than enough money for this. Because the keeper I'm going for is Emil Ordero, who was 76 rated back in FIFA 19 at 21 years old and had 87 potential. And following him is Argentinian centre mid Palacios. He was 76 rated in FIFA 19 with an 86 potential. And when you look at their FC 24 94 ratings. It's safe to say that only one of them has actually lived up to their potential, but it doesn't matter regardless because they're both joining us. And that is yet another transfer window wrapped up as we have spent a combined total of £67.4 million on both of these players. But our season is just starting as it's our third time in the UCL, this time in Group G alongside Bayern Munich, Porto and Galatasaray. But just look at the state of this team now, ladies and gents. I'm not being funny. We should absolutely dismantle every single team we come up against in the Champions League, and honestly the Premier League too. And ladies and gents, we've finally done it. We have won the Premier League title, beating Manchester City by 3 points. It's about damn time we got the better of them. But they beat us to win the Community Shield. You know what? I'll let you have the Community Shield. I'll take the Premier League title any day of the week. But in the FA Cup, we flopped it. Warsaw knocked us out in round 4. Bloody Warsaw of all teams. But we got the better of Man City in the Carabao Cup final. We've beaten them 1-0 to win our second trophy of this season. Get in. And the good news doesn't stop there. We smashed Group G to pieces, losing only 1 game out of the 6. And we got matched up against PSG and slaughtered them 3-1 on aggregate. Guys, this is looking good. And we matched against Barca in the quarters and beat them 4-3. Guys, we're in the semis. We could be playing AS Monaco, Celtic or Manchester City. Honestly, give us Monaco. I want my bloody revenge on them. Well, we got drawn against Manchester City and we once again got the better of them for the 3rd time this season, and we're playing somehow Celtic in the final. I'm sorry guys, no disrespect to Celtic, but how are Celtic in the Champions League final? That doesn't make any sense. But God help them guys, because Malcolm, Gabriel Jesus, Dominic Szoboszlai, Sims, Timothy Weah and Theo Hernandez all put a right shift in, banging goals in left, right and centre. But of course, in the Champions League final, bloody Eccles, the captain from season 1, gets himself suspended. What an absolute moron. We have been able to replace him with Palacios, but that's not the point, man. I wanted Eccles to play in this Champions League final so badly, but apparently he just had other ideas. But at the very least, guys, we've got Ben Sheaf and Van Ewijk to the Champions League final. 2 OG Coventry City players from season 1. This I'm damn proud of. And I'm also happy about these FIFA 19 Wonderkids. I mean, Lunin, what a player he turned out to be. And it's the exact same for Timothy Weah and Malcolm. I really didn't expect Malcolm to turn out good, but apparently he had other ideas. He's turned out to be one of our best players. But guys, we've already made Coventry the best team in England. We've got one more hurdle to jump over before we can call them the best team in the world. All we got to do is beat Celtic to do it. Got Timothy Weah on the ball. We're looking for that run from Theo Hernandez. We've got him on the ball and he's been dispossessed so easily by Murillo. Fair play. Palacios is on the ball. He's not really got many options. I'll tell you what, let's have a pop from distance. Oh my God, what a goal that would have been. But here comes Celtic, the first time they've actually set foot in our half, and it ends just as quickly as it begins. But here we come now on the counter-attack. Malcolm's on the ball now. Top goal scorer, and he gets dispossessed so easily. Nakamura's on the ball. Juan Foyth is in chase of him on the right-hand side of the pitch. We're getting come back. Malcolm's trying to put a tackle in. He gets flattened. Celtic is still pushing forward. Great tackle. Bloody hell, Palacios. Fair play. Palacios is coming forward. I'm waiting for an overlapping run. Malcolm is going to be the player we find. We're going to cut inside. Jesus is on the ball. Nope. Shot, and that's a good save. Oh, Jesus is going to pick up a loose ball. Can we make it 1-0? Oh my God. Jesus just hit it in the back of the net, lad. There was hardly any power on that either, man. What is he playing at? We're going to have another chance with him. We're going to come forward with Theo Hernandez. Theo, use that frigging pace you've got, lad. Look at him go. He's so fast. Nobody's with him. Tell a lie. We got it there. Box, Jesus. That's just shocking, isn't it? I actually can't believe that we are still 0-0 against Celtic and it's just gone into the second half. What are we playing at, man? We should be annihilating Celtic with the team we've got. We've got Ben Sheaf on the ball, though. We're going to try and find Milan Van Ewijk. Oh, what a pass that is. And look at him go. He's away. Nobody's really with him. Back post. Can we get Szoboszlai's head on it? No, we can't. That was shocking, to be fair, from Van Ewijk. Here comes Timothy Weah. I see that run. Back post. Surely this has got to be 1-0. There we go. Malcolm with the scissor kick. Who else was it going to be? Malcolm has been an absolute monster for us since he signed for us way back when, and he puts us 1-0 up. Honestly, I knew it was going to take something special after we couldn't score in the first 45 minutes of this game, and what a freaking goal to break the deadlock. Now, up to this point, we've been pretty much perfect. We can't let that slip now that we're 1-0 up, but we could make this 2-0. Malcolm again. No, it's Jesus that time. 80 minutes on the clock almost. We've taken a 2-0 lead against Celtic. Get in. I thought it was Malcolm because it was the exact same position Malcolm was in when he scored the bicycle kick, but that was Jesus who was up top. Right place, right time. Get in. But that's the full-time whistle. We've destroyed Celtic in the UCL final. The scoreline might have been 2-0, but it's lucky it wasn't 4 or 5. And not only have we made Coventry City the best team in England by a country mile this year, we have made them the world's best club. And we've done this by taking a trip down memory lane to FIFA 19, only buying Wonderkids from that FIFA, whether they lived up to their potential or whether they flat, but one way or the other, guys, we created an absolute monstrosity only using FIFA 19 Wonderkids. But that is our job done with Coventry City. But if you enjoyed me using FIFA 19 Wonderkids, you should click right here to watch me rebuild Blackburn Rovers with only failed Wonderkids.